You can start talking whenever.
Hey folks, Cal Kaiser here, Remax Island Properties. I've been getting a lot of questions lately regarding tax assessments and the valuations and how they're determined and what does it mean to me and everybody else. So I just thought I'd illuminate on what my thoughts are on it and what they're all about. So I always believe that there's three values for a property and they all mean a different thing. The first one, of course, is the tax assessments. That's what we're going to talk about today for sure. The other is appraised value. What's the value that a bank will appraise your property at? And the third value is determined between your realtor and yourself, which is what you're willing to sell it for and what a buyer is willing to buy it for. That, to me, is the truest determination of value. So let's start off with the tax assessment values. I mean, tax assessments are done for a very specific purpose. It is to collect taxes on your home. So a valuation is created by a group of individuals that are basically look at an area as a whole. They are lucky if they have a Google road picture of your property and the tax information that they have as far as square footage and whatnot, but they haven't been inside your house. They can't do a proper analysis of that value. It's impossible. They're doing all of them for the whole province. Like, come on, you imagine how many appraisals that would actually be? So, and you remember what it's for. It's for determination of tax value. The actual tax you pay doesn't really matter a lot on the valuation, whether you go up or down $20,000 on your home valuation. It can be significant if it's a large amount, but a small amount, it's not much. It just gets calculated into your mill rate, and that's your taxes at the end of the year. So that's so assessments are done for municipalities to collect taxes. That's what that number is there for. The other valuation is regarding a bank appraisal. Now, when you go to get a loan on a home, the bank wants to make sure its interests are protected. So it has an appraisal done on the valuation to make sure its interests are protected. So that's what that appraisal is done for. It's not done for you, it's done for the bank to protect the bank's interests. So, bank appraisals can be very accurate. Sometimes we find them to be extremely effective. But the main difference between a bank appraisal and a realtor's job is that the bank appraisal only will use the past information. So they're always looking in the rear view mirror. So basically, if you have a sale that's from 2 months ago, that they love. That gives me some really good data to work on. And of course, that is valuable information that we all use. But they never are looking out the front of the car. You need the front view to see what's happening in the market and the trends that are going on. In a downturning market, sometimes those sales data that you have from before is actually higher than it may be when you actually hit the market. But in a trending upward marketplace, well, appraisals can be really a problem because it only is looking at past information, not seeing what the trends are going on in the marketplace. So that's what you want to understand is who's the valuation for. When it comes to taxes, it's going to be your tax assessment value. When it comes to a bank protecting their interests, it's going to be appraisal. Now I'm going to talk about valuing your property for you, and that's what I do. So when we sit down as a real estate professional and we look at all the data, so we look at what is active on the market today, your competition, because if you've got a niche property that nothing else is like it at the time, we can push that value up a bit because there's no comparables to it. It's kind of a neat opportunity. It just depends on each one. When we look at all of the sales data that we have, we take that into account going forward because obviously that's what somebody else has been willing to pay for your property, but that's not where it ends. We want to make sure we've got our active data compared with our sales data, and we work together to come up with a value that you're happy with. And pricing and value are not always the same thing. We may decide through our process that, we think this is the value of the property, but we're going to price it here. Because right now our average negotiating is around this amount, so we want to make sure we got some buffer in there. Sometimes we'll want to create a bit of a feeding frenzy on a listing and price it slightly under and see if we can get that kind of activity. But each listing is very different. Each situation is very unique, and you need a trusted professional to help you out. I think I'm the guy. I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm really good at it. So anyhow, any questions you have about real estate, we'd love to help. Call us at Kaiser & Associates and talk to you soon.